Hey everybody, Josh Searton, a World Alternative Media here, and of course we're joined by author and economic analyst here at WAM, John Sneisen. And now some Wall Street insiders and strategists are claiming that Bitcoin will see an increase to about 55,000 US dollars by the year 2020. And that's what is being reported on CNBC. But I wanted to add a bit to that because their trend setting doesn't seem in tune with the actual 7-year trend that we've been witnessing for obviously 7 years. And I wanted to go into an article written on Cointelegraph, which goes into Bitcoin hitting about 250,000 US dollars by the year 2020. And if you look at the 7-year trend here, the Bitcoin average daily value change in 2010 was positive 0.82%. In 2011, positive 0.76%. In 2012, positive 0.26%. In 2013, positive 1.11%. In 2014, we saw a bit of a dip and it was about negative 0.25%. 2015, we saw a positive 0.09% increase. 2016, we saw a positive 0.22% increase. And of course, in 2017, we have seen so far an average of a positive 0.66% daily average value change in Bitcoin. Now, obviously, there's going to be a differentiation between what the bankers are saying about Bitcoin and what people who've been studying Bitcoin since the very beginning, when all those bankers were calling it a bubble at $20, are saying. So I wanted to go into this further with you, John. You have some charts. Can you go into this?
Well, actually, I have a chart that I made, and this one was made all the way back when Bitcoin had a market cap of 13 million. 13 million Bitcoins in circulation.
And it's now up to what, about 18, 17?
Yeah, and the market cap was under $10 billion. So now, of course, it's around 17 million, I believe, Bitcoins that are being created. Mm-hmm. But my chart is not so far off the actual numbers that would be if it hit the market cap, because that's how Bitcoin gets its valuation, is from the market cap, how much money is flooded in fiat into the system to then prop up the value, what is in there to be backed by the Bitcoin system. Now, we were seeing values here in this article that claims with the average it could go up to $250,000. Well, what that constitutes is the market cap actually needs to be around 30 trillion in order for that to happen. Now, that could of course happen. It could be a lot of currency printed between now and 2020 if there's even currencies around.
Well, that's the thing, because a lot of the value, like you mentioned the market cap, but a lot of the value comes to that market cap via the fact that people are sick of the central banking system. They have lost faith in the central banking system.
That's why you're getting the influx of people into
absolutely,
the
and that's why we're also seeing a huge downtrend of the dollar, because people have lost faith in that worthless fiat printed nothingness that the Federal Reserve and all the central banks print out of thin air, creating a devaluation of its source and then debt and inflation. That is causing a massive loss of faith when people are flooding to these cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin. The altcoin market obviously has seen quite a few bloodbaths recently. Bitcoin has to an extent itself, but not really anywhere close to what a lot of the altcoin markets have. But Bitcoin has proven itself that it's hanging on.
Well, don't forget about this. The current price that it's at, 2,400 something, I believe it is at right now, US dollars. You gotta understand that price is substantially higher than what it was just 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I would not be worried at all. And we said that, we've said in videos that, you'll hit the peak and then of course it's going to crash down a little bit again, but it's going to find that new higher level.
Well, yeah, and it's a correction. Yeah. I mean, it's a breather. It has to happen. These cryptocurrencies can't just go up perpetually forever. That's just utopian for people to believe that it's just going to go and never go down. Of course it goes down, and it's healthy for that to happen in any market, because if it just keeps going up, then we're looking at a massive correction, epic compared to what we're seeing today.
Well, that's what we're looking at in the bond markets, the debt markets, the stock markets
And
everywhere,
and the
right?
crypto markets
Because-
aren't immune, and they're
No.
decentralized.
No, of course. But what we got to understand is because gold and silver used to be, the insurance, the big fighter of fiat currencies around the world.
And it still is.
And it of course still is, but the problem is it's so heavily manipulated, so people got kind of tired of, being in it because they felt very disenfranchised. They were like very depressed of
Yeah.
watching the price, and now the price is currently actually going down again.
Yeah.
Which I don't care. I have it stowed away, and I said it again, it's your wealth insurance. You just keep it away, and at the time when they can't manipulate it anymore, and then it go to fair market value, then the history is over. Right?
I still say, from my personal opinion, that people should have mostly gold when they diversify. But I mean, the point is, yeah, gold is manipulated by the big banks, Deutsche Bank, and so many others. And we've reported on that before. They've been found guilty in a court of law of doing just that. And then, of course, paper ETFs, etc., which they were trying to push on Bitcoin. But the thing about Bitcoin is that there is another reason for why people are getting into Bitcoin, and that's investment. It's not just insurance.
Oh, of
People
course,
are
yeah.
looking at Bitcoin and going, well, gold is just moving a little bit, and people get impatient because they're trying to invest in gold rather than do the smart thing and insure themselves with gold. Well, they look at Bitcoin, they see these other cryptocurrencies, and they see the massive increase, the massive rallies, and they go, wow, I could make a lot of money with this, and rightly so. They get in and make tons of money, including one article I recently read where a man made $25 million in a few years off of Bitcoin out of $3,000. And, he stupidly took all but $2.5 million out of Bitcoin and now has it in fiat because obviously he doesn't understand the long-term...
Buy gold and silver,
yeah.
mister.
Yeah, absolutely. He better, because he's traveling the world and having a great time of his life. But, that paper currency will be reverted to zero eventually. It's intrinsic within it.
Yeah, but what you got to understand, that was a new game changer in 2011 when the Bitcoin got added into 2009 when it first got put out by Satoshi Nakamoto and the white paper. That was a game changer because the Wall Street and the central bankers cannot manipulate the supply on most of these currencies. It's a set supply and it's limited in supply. And of course, the central bankers, I read about the Chinese, one of the head financial analysts at the Public Bank of China, he said that it was not a currency because you could not manipulate the supply of the supply of it.
So that's by these guys' logic, the only thing that actually qualifies as a currency is something that can be manipulated and something that can be shoved on us as legal tender.
Yeah, because you need to print a mass amount of it in order to continue the growth.
Like, look, currencies can be assets as well. Just because it's a currency doesn't mean it can't be an asset, but just because it's an asset doesn't mean it's only an asset, which is a lot of people are arguing. And currency can be anything that you trade for goods and services. I mean, wheat was a currency for a long time, gold and silver and platinum and palladium. And then you look at, paper currency is a form of currency. It's just not money, because money should have some form of value to
Well, and
it.
with the fall of the dollar, there's bartering exchanges popping up all around the United States and Canada. There's, of course, a lot of local trade between people where, especially farmers say, well, I got this, I want maybe tractor or something. They could, barter in between each other as well. And the reason why is that because they don't trust the currency system that's in place, which is the fiat currency system and the legal tender that are forced down our throats. And it's getting heavily manipulated through inflation, which is a tax, and it destroys the purchasing power of that currency, which with Bitcoin, you can't really substantially destroy that purchasing power of the currency. Right now it's fluctuating, but you're not able to really destroy it because there will be 21 million Bitcoins.
Well, the scarcity comes with, that's part of the big upside to Bitcoin is the scarcity. So as I mentioned before, gold is created by supernovas. And that makes it very scarce because there's only so much of it. There's actually a very surprisingly small amount of gold in the entire world, which causes it to constantly go up in value and preserve that value. And Bitcoin has 21 million coins that will ever be created. And that creates a vast amount of potential in the future for scarcity as the demand goes up and the rarity goes up as well.
Now, if you have a lack of course, supply of making microchips and stuff, it could corrode the whole system.
Yeah.
will disappear after a while. But then again, gold will actually still be there after everything is said and done. It does not corrode, and that's the one quality that gold has that has made it into money over history.
Yeah.
And now, of course, we've seen coin as like Anthem Coin and others that are coming out with
Anthem Gold, yeah.
Anthem Gold that are coming out with currencies that are actually backed by gold that are crypto on the blockchain.
The demand is there.
So what you're seeing is the merge of the new cryptocurrency technology with an asset, which is fantastic. I love the idea, but of course we got to be a little bit leery about the supply of it, and we got to watch that. But it's a fantastic combination.
Well, and it's actually quite safe. I know Anthem Blanchard quite well. He does incredible work, and I wanted to mention as we're talking about that, I will put below in the description and the comments a reference link to Anthem Gold, where people can get involved. I think it's incredible innovation, and I really think that people should check it out. I'll put an Anthem Vault link below, and please do get involved in Anthem Gold, because it's I remember he recently was on the Dollar Vigilante or Anarchast, I believe, talking with Jeff Berwick about this new innovation, and it's incredible, and it's much needed, because a lot of people are a bit worried about the fact that these things aren't based on much more than the scarcity, the demand, etc., etc. But with that said, I don't think people should be that worried. For me, Bitcoin is a long-term insurance and investment, and gold is an immortal insurance where it will perpetuate forever. This is an eternal insurance, and Bitcoin isn't so eternal to me, but it is long-term. And I think that as the dollar crashes, which it inevitably will, even though the fundamentals are off the table and you can't put an exact date on it, we know it's going to happen. So I think that Bitcoin shows itself to be able to hold people's value, insure people's value for many years down the line. And I think that people should look at it as a great wealth insurance. Just also make sure to diversify, folks. And again, this is my opinion, but never put all your eggs in one basket. That's just a bad idea, period.
Oh yeah, it's the worst investment advice you could ever get, and it's destroyed a lot of people throughout history that thought it was a good idea. And now, of course, we talked about Anthem and the Anthem Gold. Now, he also gave us, we sat down for a nice lunch with him and Cynthia's wife, and he was starting to get into some really cool stuff that his future and what he's looking at, and that is commodities on the blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, of course, comes back to Stephen Kendall, which we've had on several times,
Mm-hmm.
where he talks about blockchain derivatives, right?
Mm-hmm.
The future trading, we can't manipulate it.
Yeah.
And I think that if we are going to work with, future financial system, it has to be accountable to the number 1-to-1. You can't do all this crazy leverage, because that's how the bankers are destroying our financial system.
Well, I think that the bottom line would be that we're not going to see cryptos going away anytime soon. It's been taking a much needed breather, and that's probably a good time to be buying. And I'm a big fan of Steem as well, STEEM, and it's based on an incredible platform as well, as which is steemit.com, which is a social media site that's taking out the dinosaur social media sites like Facebook and Twitter, etc., where you actually get paid in cryptocurrency to blog based on the value of your post and what people think of it by upvoting it. And it's incredible, and we're watching a whole new world unfold in front of us, and it's hard to really break down exactly what's going to happen because it's so new to us, and we've never seen anything that even comes close to this system ever in history.
But it's always important to be on the forefront of things. So look at what created millionaires back in the day. The oil millionaires, they were on the frontier, Then you had, the Facebooks, the Twitters, the YouTubes, LinkedIns, and so on. They were on the forefront of technology
and
at
now
their
we're
time.
taking another step up.
Now this is just a new time and new era. And
decentralized,
and things are changing,
freedom in the markets. That's exactly what we need more than ever.
And this is the future, so it's important that as many people jump on the bandwagon as possible and work on, and if you have the talent, create these new platforms, use decentralization instead of this mass centralization of information that we have today, and then we could finally win back our true freedoms.
Just never put more than you can afford to put into it.
Yeah.
That's one of the major things. And always do your own due diligence to figure
Very
these things
important.
out for yourself, because listen to us. Hey, we know what we're talking about, but that doesn't mean you should just go out and do what we say. You really have to look into these things yourself. Never invest or insure yourself with something that you don't know much about. Learn about it yourself, be confident in it, and then do it, because we don't want people going out and making errors by especially investing in some of these altcoins that have very small market caps and are easily pumped and dumped.
Yeah, no, it's very important. It was Robert Kiyosaki said it. He doesn't invest in blockchain currencies because he has no clue what it is about.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be. You should, if you want to learn about it, go out and learn up on it, and then you go and do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the future is bright with this kind of stuff. So thanks for going into this, John, with us. And yes, I do believe that it is possible, very possible, leaving out potential for manipulation, that Bitcoin can hit $250,000 by the year 2020, and much more realistically to some 55,000, as these Wall Street experts are saying. But I do think that it'll be much far closer to $250,000 at the scale and rate that it's at today with a 7-year trend.
Heck, it could be worth nothing in fiat dollars.
Well, yeah, exactly, because fiat might just be wallpaper by then, folks. We will see, because we can't put our finger on it, but we know it's going to happen. So thanks for going into this with us, John. And until next time, check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated, especially as we are so vastly demonetized and censored by YouTube. Also, check our Bitcoin address in the description and the comments, as well as on the screen for you to scan, if you please. And check us out at Josh Sigurdsson and at The Economic Truth on Steemit. That's steemit.com. Check it out. Get on board. Get on the Steam train, because it's going fast. And
Full steam ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Full steam ahead, onwards and upwards. So until next time, this is Josh Sigurdsson and John Snyson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.